What's up, you rap bastards? Hey everyone, Alex here, host of Jiu-Jitsu Radio. As always, this podcast is sponsored by Choke Aloha. Get 10% off when you use the promo code Jiu-Jitsu Radio at chokealoha.com. They have new shirts out. I think they have a couple of the vintage tank tops left. Use the promo code and you get 10% off your entire order. Chokaloha has been a supporter of this podcast since day one, and I can't thank them enough. Be sure to go and support them, check them out, even if it's just liking their posts on Instagram and such. Spread the word. They're an awesome company. I wouldn't be pushing them if I didn't purchase the products myself and if I didn't think that they were such awesome people to work with. So my whole thing is I've always wanted to just support the positive people when it comes to jiu-jitsu. We know there's a lot of companies out there that are kind of scummy and don't have really good customer support. Chocoloha is not like that. They have some awesome merchandise and apparel and stickers and all that other stuff. So check them out, chocaloha.com. Thanks again to Chocaloha. Now, finally, I have a new podcast for you guys. This one's a little different than what I've been doing because time has been so constricting for me lately. I had to go to Orlando to do a photo shoot for one of my teammates from Temple Martial Arts in Delray Beach. They're one of my schools that I train at, run by a good friend of mine who is also someone I went to high school with, Brooks Burke. Check them out, Temple Martial Arts on Instagram and Facebook and such. They're awesome people. Anyway, I decided last minute to go up there and carpooled with one of my professors and longtime friend, Shawn Ambrosino, who's a black belt. Great guy, loves hot dogs, pretty funny sometimes, more funny looking than actually comedic. Anyway, we decided to do it while driving up to Orlando. So you'll hear a lot of background noise. I apologize for that. I can't really edit it on the equipment that I am using. I know some people have voiced their concerns about the audio on my podcast. I'm trying my best, guys, to up the equipment. Unfortunately, I do this for free. I don't make money on the podcast, so I can't really afford to go out and buy the equipment that I know I need. I've worked in the music industry. I've done radio before. I know what I need. Unfortunately, that stuff's expensive, and I don't have a soundproof studio. So I do what I can. I promise you, I'll do my best to better the equipment as soon as I can. But unfortunately, I work with what I got. Either way, the drive up was awesome. The contest itself didn't go our way, but I got some awesome photos that you guys can check out if you just hit up my Instagram page, Sonder Marketing. Please be sure to follow the Jiu-Jitsu Radio podcast Instagram page. Share with your friends. Share the podcast with your friends. Every little bit helps in having the podcast move forward. I do have quite a few people interested in jumping onto the podcast, and I'm trying my best to get them on. The next couple of weeks are going to be still a little bit busy for me because I have Titan FC 45. If you guys don't know, I handle the digital marketing and the photography and video for Titan FC. So it does take up a lot of my time as we get closer to fight night. I have a blast doing it. I get to work with some amazing people. I get to work with some amazing fighters. I actually ran into a Titan FC fighter, the two-belt champ, Jose Shorty Torres, and hopefully I can get him to jump on the podcast when we get closer to the fight night. Again, I have a bunch of other people lined up, all time willing, and obviously schedules click. But once again, I want to thank everybody who takes the time to just come up and say that they enjoyed the podcast. I know I kind of play it off, but it actually means a lot to me when someone takes the time to say that to me. And even if you guys have bad stuff to say about the podcast, tell me. To me, it's all constructive criticism. He can even tell me to fuck off for all I care, but to me, I take it as constructive criticism. So thank you to each and every one of you who have come up and given me your opinions and compliments on the podcast. Please, once again, guys, take your time to share it. Share it and tag companies and jiu-jitsu fighters or MMA fighters or anybody that would be relatively close to the sport of jiu-jitsu that you think would be fun to have on the podcast, and I will do my best to get them on. I try not to do the whole radio conferencing thing just because it's a pain in the ass and you don't really get to have the face-to-face and the real interaction with the person that I think is really necessary to have a good podcast. Anyway, enough of me talking. Here is the Jiu-Jitsu Radio podcast with my good friend Shawn Ambrosino on the road to Orlando. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Jiu-Jitsu Radio podcast live on the road. This is Alex, and today I'm joined by the driver, Black Belt Shawn Ambrosino. Say hi, Shawn.
Hi, Shawn.
Hi, Shawn. We are actually on the road right now. We are heading up to Orlando, Florida, because one of our guys is competing at the IKF Kickboxing Tournament. We thought he was going to compete today, but they pushed him back to tomorrow because evidently they don't have enough people to fight him. So now we're just taking a leisurely cruise up to Orlando. Figured it'd be a good time to do a podcast since I've been kind of busting my ass the last couple of weeks. It's been a tough couple of weeks, especially after my car accident. I know Shawn's been having a tough couple of weeks as well. So I figure we might as well go have some fun.
Have some fun, talk about jiu-jitsu, talk about movies.
Talk about bullshit.
Talk about bullshit.
Actually, I gotta catch up on a lot of fucking movies.
I went and saw Baby Driver last weekend.
For what?
It was awesome.
For what? I don't even know what the fuck it's about.
You know, exactly.
That's stupid. I'm not gonna watch that shit.
No, it was awesome.
No, I'm good.
It was incredible. And what's funny is like I kept seeing not a lot of what are they called, previews for it?
Yeah.
But when the ones I saw, I was like, man, this looks rad. It had a great cast: Kevin Spacey, Jamie Foxx, John Hamm. It had a great cast, and so I was like, I gotta go see this movie. And if you check on like Flickster or whatever, dude, it's got 93s all across the board by critics and fans.
Fuck critics. I don't give a shit about critics.
I don't give a shit about critics either. But I always go by what the fans say. And
Look,
fans love this shit.
I learned a long time ago, people's opinions on movies fucking sucks.
This movie was awesome. So that was a good one.
Excuse me.
And what I love about that movie is nobody really
Gives a shit about it?
gives a shit about it, but it's still doing good. And it's written by one of the guys who I love, which is Edgar Wright, which did, Hot Fuzz, Shaun of the Dead,
Right.
all that shit. So
Right.
it was awesome. I loved it.
Did you know that Planet of the Apes came out?
Yes, I did.
War for the Planet of the Apes? And you went to go see Baby Driver?
Yes, I did.
So,
Because here's what I know.
When you expect your man card
Well,
to come back
here's what I know. The reason I went and saw Baby Driver instead of War of the Planet of the Apes was simply because I don't know how much longer Baby Driver was going to be in the movies because...
It sucks?
No, it's awesome. But because it came out a couple weeks before that, and I know Planet of the Apes will be in the theaters for weeks.
Nah, it'll be probably like another 2 weeks and it'll be out.
And I can catch it by then.
Yeah.
And nobody will be watching it with me, and I can go in there and chill.
You know what I'd rather watch than watch Baby Driver? Despicable Me 3. I'd rather watch that crap.
I did see that. I saw that with Tom and the kids.
See. Much better movie, I'm sure.
No, it wasn't,
The guy
unfortunately.
from South Park's in there.
Though, what was really cool, the bad guy in Despicable Me 3 is my favorite bad guy ever.
But he's, it's the guy from, is it Trey Parker? From South Park?
I have no idea, but he was awesome.
He's one of the guys from South Park.
He was awesome.
Yeah, like it looked pretty funny on the previews. I still gotta watch Wonder Woman. You know what I was thinking? I was fucking this morning. I went to go have breakfast with my dad, and we started watching TV, and an awesome movie came out. Which, even though I don't think it's the best out of the whole series of the movies, I would still give that movie like a lot more credit. The thing is that everybody's like flipping out over fucking Wonder Woman, and there was a female hero way better than Wonder Woman. Like, if you're giving me shit, let's say it's the end of the world, I am going to take Sigourney Weaver from Aliens over Wonder Woman any day.
That's just ludicrous.
Why?
Because Sigourney Weaver in Aliens is just a person, while Wonder Woman is a god. So if the end of the world is coming,
don't care. Sigourney Weaver's a badass.
She would not.
And she's sexy as hell.
What?
You're telling me you don't think that Sigourney Weaver's sexy as hell?
No.
Ghostbusters, Sigourney Weaver, not sexy?
No. There's only 2 times I've seen Sigourney Weaver be kind of sexy. Ghostbusters.
Right, exactly.
And Galaxy Quest.
Right, okay.
That's it.
Yeah, and those movies are like 30 years apart.
Regardless.
Okay, thank you.
They're not 30 years apart. They're like 20 years apart.
And she sits there and she walks around with a fucking flamethrower.
Yeah, she looked terrible.
She was like on a freaking planet filled with guys. She's still saved the day.
Movies. You know what? I enjoyed was Aliens 3 the one that was on the prison planet?
Yeah.
Dude, I liked that one.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, no,
but it wasn't even that good.
It wasn't that good, but I liked it. I liked the idea that they were on a prison planet.
You know who was in that movie that totally got fucked?
Rock.
Rock
was awesome.
How fucking bad does that suck where you had the nickname Rock forever, and then The Rock comes out, it's like, nobody knows you as Rock anymore.
Yeah, no one, but I'll always know that dude is Rock.
It's like Daniel
Sutton.
Charles Sutton? Yeah, Charles
Sutton.
Yeah.
But dude, that scene his death scene was one of the raddest death scenes
He's like,
ever.
oh, fuck it, I'm gonna stay here. You motherfucker. That movie is like I don't like it because I don't like the way that they shot like the scenes of viewing from the point of view of the alien.
Right.
Like, I think that's kind of bullshit. That kind of defeats the mysticism of how the alien just kind of like moves. But everything else, it wasn't that bad. Here's my thing. All right. Here's my argument why that movie is bullshit. They kill that alien by dipping it in molten lead, right? And that didn't kill it. So it comes back, and then they go dump ice cold water on it, and it cracks apart. Like, it shouldn't really kill it. If the thing has acid for blood.
Well, it's science. It's what they did is they broke the you superheat something, then you super cool it.
But they thought that the molten lead was gonna kill the alien.
Right. Well,
so they had to improvise. So it's like, wait a minute, why would you think molten lead is gonna kill an animal whose blood is literally acid?
Well, because if it's something coated in lead and it dries, it ain't gonna move.
Your blood is acid. I think you could take a shot. I think you could take a hit here and there.
Yeah, but it would have to get through your skin or what is it,
the exoskeleton?
The exoskeleton to burn the lead. If you could freeze something in molten lava, let it cool, especially heat will get damn. Dude, think about this. They got rid of the Terminator by putting him in.
That's different though. He is metal, so they melt him down.
Yeah, but that should have happened with an alien. But again, it's alien biology. We don't know what the hell.
See, but you're thinking about the T-1000, where they had to freeze him. He broke apart, melted, got back together, and then they had to melt him.
And then they melted the T-800 series too.
Yeah. Did you watch Genesis?
No.
That's the biggest load of shit ever. That movie is so
garbage.
Which
one was Genesis?
That's the last one that came out. The one where he comes back and he's like aged. Like the Terminator's aged, like Arnold with gray hair and stuff.
Yeah, they're doing alternate timelines and shit like that. But you know what? That's the thing with time travel movies is you can do things with alternate timelines.
Fucking Time Cop. I still gotta watch that. I've never watched Time Cop.
You've never saw Time Cop?
Jean-Claude Van Damme?
That was cool.
No, I haven't watched that shit. What else? I still have to watch.
Second, Jean-Claude Van Damme could have been
Jean-Claude Van Damme?
Jean-Claude.
Okay, I thought you just threw yourself in the movie.
That like he had some cool movies. Like what was the one movie where you got stuck? Where you got
Double Dragon, him and or it was a double team.
Double Team was that him
with
and him?
What's his face? Dennis Rodman.
Oh, God.
That movie was legit. That was the biggest load of shit.
Time Cop wasn't a bad movie. You know what movie?
Bloodsport? Bloodsport was shit.
You want to know, coming on movies that don't get heralded a lot as good movies, but was a pretty good movie, sticking in the same genre.
Right.
Eraser.
That's the...
Schwarzenegger.
Oh, yeah, that movie was
with
the
those
shit.
Guns, with that.
Yeah. That movie was the shit, and that's like when they introduced... That was like the first movie I remember that they introduced a new cell phone specifically for. It was the Nokia something or other, but like he had it in the movie, and they like released it just in time with the movie.
I did not know that.
Yeah. And what's her name? Vivica Fox is in it?
No.
Yeah.
No, it's the other one. Williams.
Vanessa Williams.
Vanessa Williams.
Yeah, they're both hot. They're both amazing. That movie was pretty good. You know, was another one he did that nobody remembers was it The Sixth Day?
Sixth Day.
Yeah, that movie was pretty good. That movie was pretty fucking demented. And that was like around the same time as.
Well, he had two that came out right around the same time that neither one did well. One was The Sixth Day.
And then it was Eraser.
No.
Came up
no, there was another one where it was like an apocalyptic.
Well, that was Sixth Day. It was apocalyptic.
No, Sixth Day was the one with the clones.
No, Sixth Day was the devil one. It was the one where he's like fighting like the devil and stuff. That's what I'm saying. It came around the same time as Devil's Advocate.
No, he had one where it was clones, and I almost.
Where it was clones?
Where it had to do with a clone.
Twins?
No, but I thought that was the one that was called The Sixth Day. There was two of them.
No. There's Eraser. Let's see here. I'll look it up. I'll use your phone. You drive. No, Sixth Day was good. I remember I had like a fucking poster. Jesus, man. I'm trying to go through your phone. You have so much shit. Where the hell is your Safari?
Internets.
Where? Internets. You got like...
Right around the bottom.
Oh, there you go. Alright, I got you. What else was good? No, I still have to watch Batman vs. Superman.
I was disappointed.
Why?
Just disappointed.
Well, I mean, fucking Ben Affleck as Batman.
No, you know what? I buy Ben Affleck as Batman because they're using the older version of Batman.
Because Batman sucks and so does Ben Affleck?
Batman does not suck. You might find yourself walking home.
Hands down, who's the best Batman of all time?
Christian Bale.
Wrong.
To me.
Wrong.
If you say Michael Keaton,
no,
I'm gonna punch you in the face.
Very wrong. Come on, one more guess.
Burt Ward.
That's the one that did fucking the animated series.
Who?
The one that did the voice for Batman, the animated series that was on Fox.
Oh yeah, that's the greatest Batman of all time.
Greatest Batman of all time.
Dude, I was going to school. I'm not gonna tell you what year. I was in college, but I'm not gonna tell you what year because I don't want to date myself. But I had a class at 5 o'clock.
End of Days. That's why I got it wrong.
End of Days. Yes.
End of Days was the devil one. Sixth Day was the clone one. Yeah,
right.
you're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
But I used to watch that show. It used to come on at 4 o'clock, and I would watch that show as a college student. That show was so good. It was for nobody can tell me that show wasn't meant for adults.
Oh, it was the best. You know the best episode of all time on that one? There was two good episodes.
There's a bunch of.
I mean, granted, there was a ton of good episodes. One when he gets stuck in with like the puzzle master, where it had the flying hand. He's like, oh, he was stuck in the maze.
Doesn't ring a bell.
Oh man, that one and when Ra's al Ghul comes back. And you do like a whole it was like a 2 or 3 parter with like Ra's al Ghul, and he like throws him off in like a volcano. That was fucking like, see, you don't know. You're not about that life.
Well, I was about that life, but again, that was...
Speaking of which, you know what I found out this morning is coming back? They're bringing back Rocco's Modern Life.
Yeah, I heard that. But Rocco's Modern Life I had nothing to do with that.
Yeah, that was after your time.
That's not my time.
That was my time.
I heard they're bringing... I read that on Reddit.
Yeah, no, it's coming back.
By the way, anybody that's listening to this podcast... If you're not on Reddit,
you have a life.
You have a life, but B, you know nothing because everything that's worth knowing is on Reddit.
I don't get where people have all that fucking time, man. I don't have the time to sit there on Reddit all day.
I do when I poop.
I'm answering emails at that time.
I don't need to do that.
Yeah. Like, I can't sit there on Reddit. Like, maybe once in a while, like, if I'm in between, like, doing stuff on the laptop, I'll, like, go look at Reddit and see what kind of goofy
I
stuff's
never
going
look at Reddit on the laptop. If I'm on my laptop, I'm working. If I'm on
I'm
my
on my
phone,
laptop all the time. This is, like, probably the only time you're going to catch me not on my laptop is when I'm driving. And I was even going to break it out now so I could do some work, but I don't have Wi-Fi. I still got to watch that. Yeah, I think Ben Affleck as fucking Batman was bullshit.
No,
Like, the second they announced it, it's like, fuck you, man.
Well, no. If you watch, or if you were a fan of Dark Knight Returns,
I like The Dark Knight Returns. I hate Ben Affleck.
that's terrible. That's a problem you have. I think Ben Affleck's doing a great job.
The only time I liked Ben Affleck was in Dogma.
Dogma.
That's it. Like, what else did he do that could have been remotely good?
Phantoms, yo.
All right.
He was great in Good Will Hunting.
I watched like 30 minutes of that.
Good Will Hunting's
Yeah.
incredible.
Oh wait, no. That's the one with Robin Williams, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did watch that. No. Fuck Ben Affleck. Fuck him as Batman. Such bullshit. Like, it's bad enough if you want to get into the argument that Batman could defeat Superman. But if you're going to tell me Ben Affleck Batman is going to defeat Superman, you can eat a fat dick.
Well,
You're not going to get that from me.
unlike,
Don't spoil it for me, but...
I have no problem suspending my ability to believe, or I try to not look at, okay, this isn't Ben Affleck while I'm watching this movie.
Right.
Look, nothing I can do about it. The guy's in the movie.
Right.
Not that I can care less one way or another about Ben Affleck, whether he's in a movie or not. But my whole thing is can you play the character correctly? And he has. He's played the character correctly. In my book.
You can't go from Christian Bale Batman to fucking Ben Affleck Batman.
Different universes. And that's the whole thing about DC Comics is they're doing these.
They're
every
switching it.
every year. I think it's doing it every year or something like I don't know.
Yeah.
But they're doing Reborn.
They'll get like different artists.
They reset everything every year. It's so weird.
I mean, I get it. It's cool. You know, actually, speaking of Batman, you know what I finally watched that was like that kind of pissed me off was The Killing Joke. Have you seen that?
Oh yeah, the one you saw on Netflix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was so fucking pissed off at that whole fucking like, I guess movie, like animated movie. That's the biggest load of bullshit ending ever. You might as well just spit in my face and take $10 from me, and that's like what I got.
Well, that's what the book happened in the book. And the book was critically acclaimed.
If I wanted to read the fucking book, I would have read the book. I want to watch a movie. I want a good fucking movie. You know who did a bullshit ending like that too? Ong Bak. It was Ong Bak 2, I think it was.
I never saw Ong Bak.
Oh my god. It was the biggest load of bullshit ever. Bro, you want to watch it? The movie is like pretty good. Have you seen the first one?
Yeah.
Alright, so the first one was awesome. Second one, like the scenes, like you could tell they kind of ripped off some of like the fight scenes and stuff. It's pretty cool. The
The
story's a
movie
little
was awesome.
weird.
Also,
Huh.
The Protector.
The Protector is amazing.
Okay, but anyways.
But that's why like it pissed me off. This movie is. I even forget the whole fucking storyline. I think he was like saving elephants again or some bullshit.
That's The Protector, not Ong Bak.
No, he did it in Ong Bak too.
In Ong Bak 2, he saved elephants again?
Yeah, I'm telling you. So, like, it was like some weird guy. Like, he's like the fight scenes are awesome. Like usual, like Tony Jaa, the fight scenes are awesome. No problem. The very fucking end, he's like having this massive battle with like 100 people, and he's like surrounded, and all of a sudden it goes to like a black screen, and it says like this bullshit fucking things like, oh, the battle can go pretty much any way you want. It's like a fucking Hardy Boys novel where you like make up your own ending. I fucking wanted to punch my TV so bad. It's like you literally like you watch this whole fucking movie for an hour and a half, and all of a sudden they're like, boof.
Do you remember the end of Hero? With Jet Li?
Yeah.
That was a rad ending.
That was a great movie.
That movie was so stunningly beautiful.
Yeah.
As far as the shots and the colors that they used.
I want to say it took like a couple of years to shoot. Like, I know they have the one scene when they're fighting in the lake. If you guys never watched Hero, watch Hero with Jet Li. And then, what's her name from Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon? She's in there. It is, visually speaking, like, the cinematography and everything, I would put it up to the level of the new Mad Max. It doesn't have the explosions and stuff like that, but, like, visually, like, speaking, they did such an amazing job at just, like, the places that they shot and how they shot it. It was great. Alright, enough about fucking bullshit movies. So, here's a question I got for you. So, we've seen this before. We talked about this before. There's more and more people from other martial arts coming into Jiu-Jitsu, right? So, I want to say like a year ago, 2 years ago, something like that, a brown belt judo girl competed in a jiu-jitsu tournament as a white belt, and she basically just demolished everybody. She ran through. I saw another one the other day where I think the guy was a brown belt in judo, just fucking competing as a white belt in a jiu-jitsu tournament, throwing this kid like with a seonagi, just fucking chucking him, slamming him, and of course he won everything. You're a black belt. I'm a blue belt. Obviously, your opinion can have more depth than mine, but to me, that's fucking bullshit. And the people that do that are fucking scumbags.
Well, here, I don't know if you remember a couple of years ago, the one tournament that was one of the tournaments you did. Eddie went against a guy. Was it Eddie? I want to say it was somebody else. Went against a guy that ended up being a black belt in judo. And whoever he was going against was a white belt at the time. And he got tossed all over the place. Manny got so angry yelling at the guy. He's like, dude, he's a black belt. So any black belt that comes into the jiu-jitsu world should they're automatically at a rank of blue belt.
No. I did the research on this. In, I believe it's IBJJF. Anybody that's a brown belt or higher in judo automatically competes at a purple belt level.
Really?
In jiu-jitsu.
Well, and here's I do have a problem with that.
That's sandbagging. That's sandbagging no matter what you look at it.
But my problem. So, if you're, here's the thing: is judo people they learn a lot of the same locks as
they changed
it.
Yeah, well, they because of the Olympics, it had to change. Not just the Olympics, but the Judo Federation, because before it used to be just the throws, and then it went down to like throws, and you had to be able to pin down.
It comes if you do the throw and they land on their back. That's
right.
it. That's the end of that match.
But
if you do the throw and they don't land on their back, then you have 20 seconds to submit or pin them down or whatever.
Right. But now the rule is for judo, from what I remember, is you have to submit them in like less amount of time. Like you basically have to do it. It's the first quarter of a jiu-jitsu match. You throw and then you have to like instantly submit, which is like, okay, that's cool and all for judo, but if you're a black belt, brown belt, whatever in judo, and you're coming into a white belt division jiu-jitsu tournament, even like blue belt, like that's fucked up, man.
That it's not. It's unfair. It's an unfair advantage. But here's the thing, though. Do you know how long it takes you to get a black belt in judo?
How long?
About 4 years.
Yeah, but I mean, let's not undermine the like toughness of what it takes.
I'm not undermining the toughness, but what I'm saying is, 4 years is not a long time.
Yeah, but I mean, again, what they have to learn is they have tons of throws, sure, but from my point of view, I think theirs is like a fraction of what we have to learn in jiu-jitsu, because we have to learn the throws, the submissions, the guard passes, all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
So isn't that still kind of like you have less things to learn? I think you'd probably be better off. I mean, it's not like we're talking about Taekwondo or karate or something.
Yeah, Well, the thing is it's still 4 years on the mat. If you got your black belt,
Yeah.
I think maybe it should. What should happen is they should get however many years they've been practicing judo.
Right.
That might be their rank in
No,
jiu-jitsu.
you still can't do that. All right, hold on. We got to take a break because we just got to hit up a rest stop. We got to get some gas and some food, and we're back. I got cut off there a little bit at the end because we had to hit up the rest stop, grab some grub real quick. Now we're back on the road. We just passed Yeehaw Junction. For those of you that don't know, because you've never been to Florida, Yeehaw Junction was like an old, I guess that was like a trade spot, right?
At one point, yeah.
Yeah, it was like where people would stop and trade with the Florida native Seminoles. It's cool, but they tore it down. Like, I don't know if you've driven past it, but they tore down this like ancient building from like the 40s or 50s.
There's a gas station there now.
Yeah.
And if you like boiled peanuts,
Oh, that's the spot actually. Yeah, they got some legit boiled peanuts. Where did we leave off? I forget what we were talking
about judo.
Oh, yeah.
Judo practitioners in the jiu-jitsu world.
Fucking bullshit. If you're sandbagging, if you're a brown belt or black belt in judo and you compete at a white belt level or even blue belt level in jiu-jitsu tournaments, you're a fucking scumbag, and I'll tell you that to your face. I don't give a fuck. I don't care who you are. That's bullshit. That's stupid. Like, why would you do that? Like, I don't think there's any real mix anywhere else. Like, there's no belt ranking really in Muay Thai, but like, you wouldn't sit there and be, let's say if there was, you wouldn't be a black belt in Muay Thai, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, you're gonna go in Taekwondo, like at a white belt and compete in a Taekwondo tournament at a white belt.
Or yeah, exactly. You're not going to this. See, the problem is there's the biggest problem with jiu-jitsu. Period, is ego.
I was gonna say it's the lack of an actual sanctioning body.
Well, IBJJF is as close as we can get to one.
For
but
now.
The bottom line is it comes down to ego. Ego's the biggest problem in jiu-jitsu. The reason why a black belt in judo will compete at white belt in jiu-jitsu or blue belt in jiu-jitsu.
Because he doesn't want to lose?
Because he doesn't want to lose. Nobody competes to lose.
Yeah.
So, but instead of being honorable, they take the easy way. They would take the easy way to the
Yeah,
goal.
but I mean, look at what happened to that Taekwondo. I think it was a Taekwondo black belt, right? Was it a Taekwondo black belt, a karate black belt that signed up for IBJJF tournament?
Oh yeah,
black belt?
I remember that a couple years ago.
There's a couple like that where like he ended up having to go up against like Andre Galvao, and there's video of it. If you guys just look it up, like Galvao clowns black belt, and he's literally like breakdancing on this guy's back and just like kicks him onto the floor and stuff because it was a joke. It was like disrespectful. It's 100% disrespectful for the guy to come in and think he can compete at a black belt level, like from any other like martial arts style, and think you're gonna go up against fucking Galvao or any of those guys. Like, no way. That's just disrespectful. If you wouldn't want that in your tournaments, why would you do that in jiu-jitsu? Like, so whatever. Like, that's my thing. Like, I saw that the other day. It pissed me off. It like pissed me off when that chick did it too. It's just disrespectful. Like, you shouldn't be allowed to do that.
I didn't see him.
It was a couple of years ago. It had to be like 1 or 2 years ago, but yeah, it happened. Speaking of which, are you competing at World's Masters this year?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Why?
I haven't been healthy enough.
Yeah.
And
I know that feeling.
I haven't been healthy enough. I just got over a bad back. Literally just got over a bad back. I've got a wrist issue going on. I got to sleep with a wrist brace right now. It just popped up out of nowhere. I didn't hurt it.
Yeah. It's probably sitting on the computer too long.
And what the doctor says it's tendonitis. Really nothing I can do.
Yeah, that's from sitting on the computer too long. You gotta like change your positioning. I had to do that like a couple years ago, from like when I was talking to you about when I worked at a computer.
No,
like,
my bones are getting out of
right. I'm telling you, it's like it hurts like right there. I'm telling you, it's from sitting there.
Well, it started here, then it moved up here.
Yeah, it's just tendonitis, like, but it's coming from like the position that you're sitting in on the computer. I had that when I was sitting there working at my old university. I was a computer tech, and I would sit on the computer all day, and I noticed like, man, my wrists started to feel like really weak, and my hands would start feeling weak, and it's a mixture of tendonitis and carpal tunnel. Like, it doesn't seem like it, but if you start switching your position, like, I guarantee it'll, like, within, like, 2 weeks, you'll feel, like, a million times better.
But it is getting better, but I haven't been able to train.
Yeah.
And I just got a lot on my plate, you know, professionally, personally. It's just too much, too many distractions. If I'm going to do the Worlds, I'm going to do it.
Yeah, no, I hear
clear-headed with a specific, you know, training camp behind it, not just something I'm just going to do on a whim.
Yeah. Speaking of tournaments, this weekend is the Gracie Pro, and Hadra Gracie is going to be competing against Buchecha for their, I guess, final bragging rights. I think Hadra made it pretty clear that this is going to be his last jiu-jitsu tournament, like his last jiu-jitsu match. Buchecha is going to get more into MMA, so it's actually going to be a pretty dope tournament to catch if you guys catch it. It's on Flow Grappling. They don't sponsor this, but you know, I'll give them props because they're doing more and more for jiu-jitsu to expand it. They've been doing Flow. They have Flow Wrestling now. And
they have all kinds of stuff. I just saw this. You know, they have documentaries on people.
Yeah.
What was funny was I was watching a YouTube video the other day and it came up a commercial for him.
Yeah.
And I was like, where did it? I wasn't watching jiu-jitsu. I was watching I pulled up the trailer to the new Star Trek show that's coming out, and Flow Grappling came on.
Now they had Flow Marching Band or Flow Drum, whatever, where they do the DNC competitions where it's the drum corps competitions. It's what the fuck is this? I thought someone was playing a prank on me. I thought it was just a video someone made up, but no, they're separating in a lot of different ways. I mean, power to them. I'm not gonna fucking watch it, but you know, more power to them.
If there's a market out there, why not? Why not?
But they're doing it right though. They're expanding. They're giving people more bang for their buck, really. They did reach out to me once or twice about trying to do photos for different events in South Florida, and things just didn't link up. Speaking of which, this next couple of weeks are gonna be nuts for me. I got to photograph Titan FC and film for Titan FC 45 coming up in August 18th, I think it is, 16th, 18th, something like that. So it's going to be pretty nutty. I guess it's probably the last weekend I'll really have off for a while until that's over with. My birthday's in August, by the way. So, you know, if you feel like buying me something, go for it.
What was it you got me for my birthday?
Not a fucking thing.
Thanks.
Actually, no. I take that back. I did get you that thing from Vanderlei Silva's gym, so that counts.
The dick sock.
The dick sock. All right. So it sounds super awkward, but here's the story. So last year, I was traveling and filming for work, and a good friend of mine, my mentor Ryan Loco, asked me if I wanted to come and help him out while he was photographing at Vanderlei Silva's old gym in Las Vegas, because I was in Vegas at the time. So I was like, yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm never gonna pass up sitting there and hanging out with a friend of mine and, you know, watching my mentor do his thing. So I'm just hanging out at the gym, and I forget the gym owner's name now, which I kind of feel like an asshole, but he's a good guy. He was an old fighter. And at the front door, there was a table, one or two tables with just random shit that they were selling, random old shit that was just out there for sale. It's actually my phone case that I have on the phone right now. There's tape, all kinds of stuff, shirts. And then I seen this bin, and there was these little tube-shaped, test tube-shaped socks with Vanderlei Silva's logo on there. And I'm what the fuck is this? And they're look, man, I don't know. Everybody's tried to guess. People say they were baby socks. People think it's for your cell phone. I was man, this is a dick sock. No, shut the fuck up. I'm dead serious, bro. This is a dick sock. Someone made a sock for their dick, because these aren't baby socks. There's no way that these are baby socks. And it's just this little test tube shaped cloth, and with Vanderlei Silva's gym logo on there. It's oh, how much are these? I think it was $1. It's I'll take them all. I'm gonna ship these out to all my friends because this is gonna be hilarious. So I started handing out dick socks to everybody. It was so bad. I think I still have one I gotta give to Tom. So I gotta ship his up there. So Tom, if you're listening, check the mail, buddy. What?
That just reminded me, somewhere at my house, and I don't know where.
Is a dick sock.
No, is a penis pump.
Oh yeah, there's the penis pump story. Oh my god. That was the last time we took a road trip. We did that, so we were... Alright, because this is just getting weird. There's way too much dick jokes going on right now, but we were driving up to Hinato Tavares School for a seminar with Foster.
Yes.
Foster came down to do a seminar fundraiser for Mario Morales and the Morales family. And on the way up, I was on Groupon, and I was like, oh my god, Groupon has a dick pump for $10. It's like, who wants to chip in? And we'll send it to our friend Tom. So everyone said they chipped in, but I ended up paying for it. So now I got a fucking dick pump on my credit card. That's always cool. So we shipped it out, and I was actually at the house. I told you that, right?
Yeah.
I was at his house while the package came in, and I was just dying, trying to hold my laughter in, waiting for him to open it. And he's like talking to his wife. He's like, Tara, did you order something? No, I didn't order. It's like, it says it's from Groupon. Like, I don't remember ordering anything from Groupon. And I'm just sitting there in by the kitchen counter, like, you should open it. It's got your name on it. Clearly, it's for you. So next thing you know, they open it up, and he's like, it took him like a good 10, 15 seconds to realize what it was. Because first it was like the tube, and then the pump section of it. And then he's like, oh, you son of a bitch. Like, you understand that this is coming back to you, right? So this was 3 years ago?
2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah, it's got a good 3 years ago. So he just took the penis pump, stashed it away in his closet. Tom moves away, like the whole family moves away. And you go up the week before I did. So Shawn goes up to see Tom and the family. And next thing you know, he leaves the same day that I get to their new place. And he's like, oh, you won't believe what I just did. I'm like, why? What happened? He's like, I just dropped off Shawn, and I put this in his luggage. And he took a photo of it, and he put the penis pump in your fucking backpack, or in your bag.
No, in my bag.
To get checked in. But you didn't get stopped.
No, but it went through the x-ray machine.
It went through the x-ray. So you didn't know until you got home.
I didn't know until I opened the bag and I got home that I had a penis pump with me the whole time.
I mean, it would have been better if they stopped you and then you had to explain it. But that would have probably been bad for you. So, but I mean, either way, it's funny as shit because you just showed up, you opened the bag. What the fuck is this? So now I have a bad feeling I'm the last one in line to get the revenge back on. So I know at some point or another it's going to end up in one of my bags. So just so you guys know ahead of time, it's not mine. It's clearly Tom's. It's Tom's dick pump.
It's Tom's dick pump.
Not that that makes it any better. So, the Gracie Pros this weekend. Fight to Win was last night. And actually, oh, you know what I did want to talk to you about? You saw everything that happened with Amanda Nunes?
What do you mean?
Where she bailed out of the fight last minute, whatever.
Bailed out, yeah.
But do you know what happened?
She's pregnant.
No, definitely not. But did you hear everything that went back and forth?
Yeah, like she wasn't feeling good, and she had some kind of...
She had chronic sinusitis, that's what she says.
Yes.
So she went to the doctor. The doctor said, you're fine.
Yep.
She's like, well, I don't feel good. Like, her coach has said that she wasn't keeping her balance. She couldn't keep her balance. She couldn't fight, which I 100% believe. Like, I 100% believe, like, she was not at the top of her game. Like, because Amanda Nunes is the last person I would sit there and say she would get scared and bail. Like, there's no, I can't believe that. What Dana White claimed, he's like, oh, she was scared. She bailed out. It's like, I would never see that.
Well, you can say yes or no. I mean, I can see, some people are superstitious, and if something starts going wrong, and then all of a sudden, a lot of things start going wrong in a row, they might start going, oh, shit.
No, I don't think so, because I've seen, it's, you're talking about, Mike Brown and Pahumpa and, Alex Davis and stuff, they have their fighters, well-being, 100%, but they don't coddle their people. They never coddle,
no, but they are, the bottom line is they are human beings, and they are, they are...
I have a different theory of what happened.
All right, let's hear your theory.
I think she did have the chronic sinusitis. I have chronic sinusitis. Like, I've had it. When it hits you fucking hard. Like, for people that, like, if you never had, like, a serious, like, sinus infection, it's fucking dangerous shit, man. Like, it starts to feel almost like you're having, like, a really bad fever, but everything is just in your head. Like, you know your body's feeling okay, but, like, you'll start getting chills, and, like, you're on your ass. There's nothing you could do. It's like the whole world could catch on fire. You're not going to give a shit. So I think she did have that. She didn't feel that good. But that wasn't the real reason why she bailed out. I think, because that was supposed to be a huge card. Cowboy and Robbie were going to fight.
Right.
Like, Cowboy had to cancel because he got a staph infection and he messed up his knee or whatever. And, like, I think another fight ended up getting canceled. So she was, like, I think it was probably going to be, like, it was her first pay-per-view fight where she was going to get points, I think. Like, I'm just speculating. If she was going to get points on her first pay-per-view, like, that would have been the worst fucking card to do it. So not only are you sick and you risk losing the title because you're sick, but you're going to get jack shit paid for it. Because, like, I saw the numbers this morning. It was, they just squeaked 150,000 pay-per-view buys, which is nothing. Which is nothing for a UFC fight. That's the same numbers as Bellator. So you can't tell me that a championship fight for UFC is going to get the same numbers as a Bellator fight. Like, that's not right marketing, even with the new management. So my theory is that she saw that, like, I'm not going to get paid jack shit for this. I risk losing the belt because I'm sick. I might as well go out and wait till the next one to get paid. And that's probably what pissed Dana off. And instead of sitting there and saying, like, this card is shit and she didn't want to be on this card to get shit, he's like, that's why he said you'll never headline another pay-per-view card again, to keep her from getting those pay-per-view points like that.
That, or they just didn't want, they don't want to invest money in a fighter who was there, showed up, and the doctors say was fine, and refuses to fight.
But see, that's what I think is bullshit, because Aldo fucking bailed out so many times on fights.
Not the night of.
Oh, the week of. How's that? It's not that much different. Week of and the night of isn't that much different. It's tougher for the girls, though, because I found this out. The girls have to go through all the same tests as the guys do, but they also have to do pregnancy tests. So that test takes 72 hours. So that's why, like, Joanna Jędrzejczyk wanted to. She's like, I'll take the fight right now. I'll take the fight right now. And the only reason why Dana said no is because there wasn't enough time for the test to come back. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
So, like, because it happened in 24 hours from the fight. Not even, less.
I find it hard to believe that they can't go with a pregnancy test. Pee on a stick.
Well, that's not as accurate. It's like USADA and everything, like the commission, the Nevada State Athletic Commission has to go, like, certain tests. Which I totally understand, because
No, I get it.
there was a fighter, I want to say it was Invicta.
Yeah.
I want to say it was Invicta. She fought and she won. She, like, took a hard fight, but she was pregnant, and she didn't find out until after the fight that she was pregnant, which is, like, super sketchy. Like, that's kind of tough, man. Like, can you imagine the kid's born and, like, all the damage you could have been taken? Like, I think it was just too early on in her pregnancy.
Yeah, it was.
That's not my expertise. So I don't.
Yeah, she
know.
probably didn't. She probably had no idea. So it couldn't have been too, like, developed.
That's, like, it's kind of fucked up. I mean, that's one thing for sure. The guys can say they don't have that that worry on their shoulder. But I mean, that's still kind of, like, fucked up. But that's my theory. I think that it was that. I think a combination of her being sick and risking losing the title, like, and not getting paid for it, it's like, why do it? You know? And I think she got way too much shit for it. Like, that's my thing. I think it's because it's a women's division. Like, people think that they can shit on her compared to, like, Aldo bailing out a bunch of time. Like, Aldo bailed out on the fight after the UFC put so much money on it. And he was injured. Okay, whatever, he was injured. But he still bailed out a bunch of fights. So it's like, why does Amanda get all that shit?
Again, what I think it is you can't prove at the doctor tells...
It's an opinion.
It's an opinion.
Right.
Right, you know, you're saying you feel like this, but the doctors can't prove that. They can prove you have an injury. They can prove you have a virus.
Well, they proved that she was fine to fight.
Right.
Which is, you know, it's like they can't sit there and say what's going on in her ear, like, because that's something where unless they do like some serious tests, they can't tell.
Right. Now, but here's the thing. Even when you're at your worst with your chronic sinusitis, the minute a bell rang, would you think?
No, dude, no, you can't. You can barely open your eyes. That's the only thing, because I don't know all the specifics. Somebody said like, oh, they saw her having breakfast, she looked fine, whatever. But I mean, she's toughing it out. She's going through a weight cut, she's fine. Look, I spent 11 days straight in Las Vegas in a shitty fucking hotel last year. I would not wish that upon anybody. Like, if you're living in one of those big houses out of the strip, you're fine. But it's dry, man. It'll fuck with you. I got, like, and actually that happened to me. I was in Vegas for 11 days, came back, and then within 24 hours, I had to fly to South Korea for another gig, and I was sick. I got sick in Vegas, and it was the worst fucking flight of my life. Like, the descent, so I went...
Which one?
To South Korea. Coming back, I was like, okay, I'm fine. But as soon as I landed back, I was like, I couldn't tough it out anymore. It fucking hit me. And then I flew from, I want to say it was Fort Lauderdale or West Palm. I want to say it was Fort Lauderdale. From Fort Lauderdale to Jersey, or Newark, whatever. From Newark to Shanghai, Shanghai to Seoul.
That seems like such a weird way to go.
You have to go that way. And it was a straight flight.
Why can't you go West Coast way?
I mean, I did go West Coast way.
No, not.
I had to go up to Newark to go to the West Coast.
Did you not land in on California?
It was just a straight flight.
No. Yeah, what I'm saying is I'm wondering if, like, if you book through LAX, like, or whatever, one of those other hubs out there that can take you. You know what I'm saying?
It was a super last minute flight.
Yeah,
it was literally like a last minute flight. It cost like outrageous amounts of money to get me on that flight. But either way, it doesn't matter. So like from Newark to Shanghai, on the descent, like I was passed out the entire flight. I was sleeping. I was like, I'm gonna try and sleep as much as I can to get as much energy into my body as I can and try and sleep it off. I was out. I think I ate maybe once the entire trip. On the descent, as soon as the pilot got on saying like we're going like down, my ears started to like just hurt. The pressure in my head became so bad. I went deaf for a solid hour or two. So when I landed in Shanghai and like the freaking airport police and everybody's asking me questions, I'm like, it's bad enough I don't speak the language. I can't read your lips, and I can't hear it all. So I was just like, sure. Like, whatever they yelled at me, I pretended like I understood, and I just went in. But, like, I lost my hearing for, like, an hour. I was, like, scared that I completely lost my hearing. And, like, little by little, it came back. But it was all from the sinus pressure.
Right.
It's no joke. Like, it's definitely something, and that's the thing with sinus infections. Because it's so, the blood, the barrier is so thin. Like, the walls inside your sinuses are so thin, and it's so close to your brain. If you get an infection, like, you're fucked. Like, that's in. Like, you're not getting that out any easy way, you know? But, so my theory is it's like a combination of she was sick. Maybe it might not have been as bad as she said it was. But it was also like, man, this card is shit. I'm not going to make any money and I'm going to risk losing. Like, I might as well go get paid. And then 214 is a massive card. Or 215, I'm sorry. Is a massive card. Like...
Is she on that?
Yeah, but... Again, Dana promised that he would never let her headline a card, and she's not headlining. Excuse me, she's co-headlining, and now Demetrius Johnson is fighting Ray Borg, which is kind of like a bullshit fight.
I don't trust anything Dana says when he promises.
Oh no, he doesn't promise anything. Like, he doesn't follow through on any of his shit. But I that's my theory. And as much as I love Demetrius Johnson, the Ray Borg fight is a bullshit fight.
I think it's somebody else. I don't think it's Ray Borg.
It's Ray Borg. They wanted to give him Dillashaw, and he said, like, no, fuck that. Why is Dillashaw getting, like, a title shot when Ray Borg is supposed to get the title shot, which I understand. And he's not going to get any more money if he's fighting T.J. Dillashaw or if he's fighting Ray Borg. Because
but if he got pieces of the pay-per-view.
No, I don't think he was though. Or no, I'm sorry, he was. Yeah, they did say it would have been his first fight getting points.
If I was going to get points, yeah, I'd want Dillashaw over Ray Borg, even if...
I don't think TJ's as big of a... I don't think Dillashaw is as big of a draw as he used to be.
No, but
he's a bigger draw than Ray Borg. Yeah, well, that doesn't take that fucking much. But I get it. Like, I give him credit because he wants to go the traditional martial arts, like boxing routes. Like, you fight your way to the top. Well, you got to go up the ranks. I get.
Yeah, and I wish that UFC would fucking do that. I'm so sick of these money fights.
Why?
Because it makes the rankings mean nothing.
The rankings don't mean anything.
They should, though.
Why?
Because that's the reason why they have rankings. How are you supposed to know? The reason this person's the number one contender,
right,
is because he's worked his way up through this weight class.
Right, but here's why that's bullshit. You have two guys, right, whose styles are completely different from each other. But you know, if these two guys fought, it would be an insane fucking fight. It would be an absolute beast of a fight. You know that. Unfortunately, guy number 2 is ranked number 30. And the other guy is maybe number 4, number 3, number 2, or whatever, right?
No, I'm not. What it is, though, is...
You don't like guys jumping the line.
I don't like guys jumping the line. Either do away with the rankings, because they mean nothing anyways.
Right.
Or you either have to use the rankings, and that's who you use to... That's who makes fights. Who cares if there's a personal beef? That's what Dana loves to use, the personal beef fights.
Well, but that's any organization.
No, because it makes money.
Right.
Don't get me wrong. I understand the difference and why they do it. What I don't understand is why have a ranking system if you're not going to use the ranking system?
Well, they changed it. Here's the problem.
It takes the legitimacy away from the sport. That's, to me, what it does.
Yes and no. It gave the UFC control. The problem is the UFC dropped the ball on it, and it's like, oh, wait, if we fucking control this, then, these are the lineups that we're going to give people, right? So, it used to be the press. The press didn't know shit about MMA. So it's like, guys, why are you ranking this guy number 1? He just lost 3 fights in a row. When this other guy should be ranked up higher. It was weird because there would be guys with shitty records that were higher ranked than guys with good records. Okay, well, you can't do that. So then they took it back, and then the UFC is fucked it up too because they started putting guys in random spots.
Well, maybe MMA should go to more traditional ranking system that's put together by coaches in the
right, but that's
Associated Press.
But that's what I'm saying. It's still, then it ends up going back to okay, wait, so now I gotta wait, 2 years for someone to get a good fucking fight. Let's be honest. Let's say it was just John Jones, right? It was just John Jones and DC, and everybody else sucked. It's okay, so you're telling me I gotta watch John Jones and DC constantly go through fucking nobodies until they fought each other, or I can have a fucking bunch of guys working their way up or jumping up. It's hey man, this guy came in that even happened with DC. DC came from was it Bellator, right? Strikeforce, yeah. And he went straight up towards a title shot. I think he had 1 or 2 fights, and then he went up to the title shot. Okay, why? There was other guys that were in the fucking way. I didn't hear him complaining fucking then.
Well, he came over as a champion, so it
doesn't fucking matter.
Well, no, I understand, but his ranking.
That's the same argument that Mighty Mouse is making. It's I don't care if he's coming over as the champion. I'd let these guys come up through their ranks. So you're literally just being hypocritical now, because that's what he wants. Now you want the super fight instead of going up the ranks.
No, I'd rather. Here's the thing: is what I'd rather they do is go up the ranks, but the UFC doesn't do that.
That's not true. Look at Volkan. Volkan Ozdemir is going up the ranks. He jumped from 11 to 6 to 5 to 4.
Yeah, but all we need is number 7, the 7th ranked guy, to say something wrong to John Jones, and guess who's, and they have a Twitter beef, and then it makes it huge. It brings all kinds of. And who do you think's gonna fight?
John Jones isn't gonna fight a number 7 guy.
He would have.
And the UFC would probably, like, unless it was like a super serious beef,
Well,
like
look at
Conor
Cody.
McGregor, like a Conor McGregor type beef, he wouldn't sit there and be like, yeah, John, let me just go ahead and give you an easy payday and take my fucking money for a shit fight.
Look at Cody Garbrandt.
Okay.
He
And
was-
Dominic.
And Dominic. That Cody Garbrandt, I think, wasn't even in the top 10, or it just broke the top 10. It was like 7 or 9.
Yeah, but Cody's a bad motherfucker.
Doesn't matter.
But
still,
that's different though, because Dominic agreed for it. Like, he went for it.
no, I get it. But what I'm
And
saying,
that was like a legit beef.
But what I'm saying is, what about everybody in between?
Who's in between?
Who's in between Cody and
was?
Dillashaw for one. Dillashaw.
Fuck Dillashaw. Dillashaw, like, as soon as he fucking lost to Dominic, because Dominic called him out.
That was
like,
a close fight.
Dominic was the legit champion. All right.
Yeah.
TJ didn't win that. He got handed down a belt.
Right.
So that's the real, like, truth.
But he beat.
He didn't beat Dominic.
No, but he beat not Henan Barao.
Okay, wow, the guy that couldn't fucking make weight.
Yeah, but Henan Barao's a legit dude, man.
I'm
just saying. All I'm saying is, either A, get rid of the rankings, or B, follow the rankings.
What do you want to see more? Do you want to see awesome fights between two guys that were talking shit to each other, or do you want to see ranking fights? Do you want to sit through like 8 months of shit fights, and maybe some get canceled?
Well, it depends. Well, for me, it doesn't really matter. I don't care one way or the other. But it depends on what you value more. Do you value entertainment more, or purity of the sport?
The purity of the sport goes through the fighting. It doesn't go through the fucking rankings.
No, but the purity of work hard, work your way up. Like, think about boxing.
You can work hard. Look, don't get me wrong. You can work hard. You can bust your ass. There's tons of guys that work really, really hard and don't end up getting it. Like, their technique sucks. And then there's guys that don't work that hard that sit there and fight and go up. Look at how John fought. John went up. Like, he took a couple of leaps. He beat Shogun. He fucking came in and destroyed Shogun, and then he goes straight up to the title.
No, he beat Shogun for the title.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he goes straight up into the title, and he had what, like, and he got one fight where it was where he lost because it was a bad call.
No,
it was a shit call by the ref.
Well,
he got DQ'd for the elbow.
It wasn't a bad call. It's just that was what the rules are.
Man, that's a bullshit fucking call.
It's a bullshit rule. That's what they got to. It's not the bullshit call. The call is the call. He had to make that call.
That's bullshit. Technically, to me, he didn't lose. He was gonna win.
No,
that
he
fight
didn't.
anyway.
He didn't lose that fight, but that was a fight he won, and everybody knows he won.
Right, but my question to you is
change that rule. That 12-6 elbow rule.
But here's what, like, we're going back to the actual point. Like, the ranking is what made boxing boring, right? Because you have to fight your way up the ranks to get to the title shot. Is that the legitimate champion? Yes. I would say you are the legitimate champion because you fought your way up. Unfortunately, like, you can't do that in MMA. Your body, like, there's, like, if you look at all the guys that were on top, they had maybe 2 or 3 years where they were just, like, hitting a high RPM.
Same thing with the heavyweights, or same thing with
Except for,
boxing.
like, Anderson Silva. Anderson Silva's, like, streak was for so long. Even, like, Mighty Mouse. Like, those guys are so special because they're operating at such a high RPM for so long. Look at what happened to Anderson as soon as he started to lose it. Maybe it was you can't take any more dick pills, but, you know, like, at the end of the day, it's the rankings are the way to go. Doesn't mean you're going to get a good fight.
Right,
so do you want to watch a good fight, or do you want to watch a ranked fight?
Here's the thing. You may not get a good fight, but you'll have a legitimate person standing at the top of the podium.
But see, then again, it's still, to me, kind of like, that's bullshit, because that's not the way that the UFC started. Do you want to go to the purity of the sport of guys fighting like the guys that they want to fight?
Well, they didn't have weight classes either. Doesn't, regardless.
But that's what I'm saying.
Regardless of how it started, they didn't have weight classes either. You know, do you want to see Mighty Mouse versus, you know, Cain Velasquez? Or, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, at this point, Mighty Mouse would win because Kane can't stay fucking healthy to save his fucking life. Kane had to get his fight postponed again because his back's not healthy. So I'll put money on Mighty Mouse. Yes, I want that fight. I'll put that money on Mighty Mouse. You'll legit just kick him in the knee and just be like, I win.
But if UFC wants to be, because the whole reason they took the Reebok fucking sponsorship was because they wanted to be viewed as a legitimate fucking.
No, they wanted to show that they could sell to a major sponsor, which is what ended up getting them the deal with WME.
Bottom line is they had Burger King, they were getting Harley, they were getting major sponsors, Budweiser.
You want to know what the real goal for the UFC was? And I know this from inside information. At one point, their goal was to become a league, and it wasn't going to be any kind of whatever NFL. It was going to be a worldwide league, which is why they were doing tough nations, where it was tough China and tough whatever. At the end of the day, that's the same reason. There's a couple of things that happen with people coming in with fucking Speedos and coming in with fucking board shorts and stuff. They wanted to create a full-on worldwide league where you could sit there and have fights all over, and then you would have a legitimate world champion. There's too much scumbaggery going on all over the world.
To me, if I could build a company, it'd be rad to have an actual league. So you take kind of like the IFL was. I enjoyed the IFL, but say it was, but have it on countries, have the Australian League, the Asian League, the Eurasian League. So you could have an African League, have one on every continent.
Right.
Where they have their own ranking systems, they have their own champions,
and then at the end do champions versus champions.
Do champions versus champions.
You got 10 years for one fight to happen?
Why would that be 10 years for one fight to happen?
Because that's how long it would take for someone to climb up the ranks, then be a champion, defend that belt, and then go fight against another champion.
No, you do a 1 year tournament. So you have.
Well, that's what the Pro Fight League or whatever it's called now, the World Series, whatever it is, Pro Fight League. That's what they're doing, and it's $1 million fucking contract at the end or whatever. You got $1 million check.
I'll take it.
Yeah, how good is World Series at making decisions? Yeah, exactly. So I get it. I don't disagree with your point of view, but shit doesn't work that way. And that's the stuff that I have to deal with fighters now. It's if you're dumb enough to think that you got 10 years in you to climb up the ranks,
no,
it's not gonna fucking happen. You're gonna hit your peak. You got 2, maybe 3 years of where you can sit there and fucking ride this out, because not everybody's Mighty Mouse, not everybody's Anderson Silva. You go look, even Ronda Rousey. She didn't have that much time. And then she got exploited. Everyone's oh, that's all I got to do? Done. It happens. It happens to everybody. It happens to, all the athletes. The fight game isn't easy, man. That's why you get in, you make your money, you get the fuck out.
That's why that's why people are so angry at Conor McGregor, because he's playing it right.
Well, they hate him because he's making fucking money, and they're making them look stupid, because a lot of fighters are fucking dumb, and they don't fucking get it. They don't get, you got to market yourself. Unfortunately, if people go, I think that there should be a certain union for fighters, but I think if fighters do unionize, it'll be, the worst thing for the sport.
Well, let me. Most of these guys do not understand what business they're in.
Let's not overgeneralize, but yeah.
I'm going to tell you, I can tell you this, most of them don't.
Yeah.
They think they're in the fight business, and they're wrong.
No, they're in the show business.
They're in the show business. And that's the kind of stuff that starts as an amateur. So as the commentator for XFN, we give these fighters sheets to fill out.
Yeah.
We tell them, look, this is how we're going to sell you as a fighter.
Right.
Do you realize how little information these people give us?
Oh, no, 100%. Everybody uses the same fucking phrases. You're going to tell me? I was doing that shit way before you even started doing it.
They gave the sheets that they're giving us
2 sentences?
Not even sentences. They answer the questions that were asked of them, and not all of them.
Yeah.
But you know who's awesome at it?
Huh.
Is Kelly. Barrington.
Yeah, she gets it.
She gets it, but what she does, she writes out a whole bio.
Yeah.
And she attaches it to it, and she tells the story. That is an easy way. The more I know about you, guess what? The more I can sell you. I don't care if you're the greatest fighter on the planet.
But it's tough, see, like, because you're approaching at it from a pro level on people that are at an amateur level. Most of these guys don't have that many fights, and most of these guys aren't even going to be around in 2 years to fight.
Yeah, but why are they fighting?
Most people are fighting the amateur fights because they want to reach the minimum fights that they need to try and go pro.
Right, but why? To make money or to be the best in the world?
No, they want to make money. They want to make money, and they want to sit there and, like...
They're choosing the wrong profession if they want to make money.
I totally agree with you. A lot of people say they like fighting, but then they want to get paid for it, and shit doesn't work that way. Like, that's why, like, I did a whole podcast on, like, why you're not going to get sponsored, why you can't get sponsored. And I rip into people for that. But at the amateur level, they have to put on a show because that's how they get attention.
Yeah, even on the pro level, you have to put on a show.
But it comes down to, like, being a good fighter. Like,
right, you can't just be a good fighter.
Yeah.
You have to be... Look, it's great. But again, you can be the best fighter on the planet.
Right.
If you have no kind of showmanship. Yeah. No kind of...
It's going to take you forever to get up top. Like, if you're a boring fighter...
People... So it comes down to this, and I've told these guys this, and I've yelled at them. I'm like, look, this isn't a fight. What this is Greek theater.
Yeah, you're gonna talk to fighters about Greek theater? Really?
Come
on, guy.
Here's what it is I tell them, look, what it is at its base, people want to see two guys fight, but they don't want to just see two guys fight. They want good versus evil. They want to see good triumph over evil.
I mean, you can't. Yes,
that's just what it is.
Right.
It's
easier to sell that way.
It's easier to sell that way. So I tell these guys, look, either find a way to be the good guy, or accept a role as the bad guy.
Yeah, but not everybody is a good heel.
No, they're not. Regardless, I understand that, but these people don't even try. They think I'm just gonna let my talking happen in the ring.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, well, that's stupid. That's different. That's a whole different argument. Like, I don't want to get into now because that's stupid. It's like, oh, well, who do you want to fight next? Well, I'll fight whoever they want me to fight. Like, no, dummy. Either you want the toughest fight that's gonna give you the most attention, or you want the easiest fucking win. Again, it doesn't come down to like, oh, you want the ranked fight. Like, no, you don't want the ranked fight.
No, I want.
You want to jump up.
My goal is that belt. So whatever fight will get me closer to that belt, if not to that. Look, you offer me the championship fight tomorrow, I'll take it.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
You know what I'm
saying?
saying?
Like, at the end of the day, you're here for a good time, not a long time. So, like, you either make it or you don't. I think we're getting pretty close here.
Yeah, we're getting close.
You know where you're going?
Yeah.
All right. I think we should probably wrap this up. We could probably do another one on the way back. What time is it? I don't know, we made pretty good time.
1:30, we left around 11-ish.
Yeah, it's pretty good. We're almost in Orlando. There's a giant storm coming, and I can see Universal Studios from here. But yeah, in the meantime, while we wrap this up, I want to thank everybody for tuning in, people subscribing. I've had more people come up to me and compliment me on the podcast. It means a lot to me, guys. Thank you very much. Please take the time to share this with your friends. Post it on Facebook, Instagram, share the post. Be sure to follow Shawn, who is also the color commentator for XFN, organization run by Daniel K. out here in South Florida. It's awesome fights. You guys don't stream all the fights, just most of them.
Most of them, but the next one's going to be rad. Combat grappling only.
Yeah, it's going to be a grappling only match with a $1,000, I think, prize.
No, combat grappling.
Combat grappling, yeah, but it's a $1,000 prize.
$1,000 prize, yeah.
I do a lot of the photographs for XFN. You can always find them on Facebook as well. As always, I want to take the time to thank Choke Aloha for sponsoring this podcast. Be sure to check out chokaloha.com and use the promo code Jiu-Jitsu Radio. You'll get 10% off your entire order. I actually just got they sent me some new swag. I got the reissued tank top that they just pulled out there. Perfect time for summer. So go check them out. Follow them on social media. Follow Shawn on social media. Well, what is it this week? You're always changing it.
No, it's not changing. It's
Okay.
at Gorilla Boy BJJ.
All right. So follow Gorilla Boy BJJ. How do you spell gorilla?
Same way
You don't know. You just type numbers.
I'm just a monkey trying to make it in the world, man.
Right. So follow Shawn. Please subscribe to the channel. Share it. It's on iTunes and SoundCloud. And I'll be back Monday. I will have a special guest, a Glory Kickboxing champion. Said he's planning on joining us. I don't want to spill too many beans, but keep an eye out for that. So thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll catch you next time.